Who's ready for a pretty negative video? This is my top 10 worst roller coasters that I have ridden. Now, just to let you guys know that I have ridden over 100 roller coasters all across Northeast United States, and you are going to be running into a bad roller coaster at some point of your life. Well, this is my top 10 worst roller coasters. Just to let you know, I'm not including any types of Kiddie roller coasters or defunct roller coasters, just because it wouldn't be fair. Some Kiddie coasters are alright, but I'm not including any defunct roller coasters that I have ridden. So yeah, this is my top 10 worst roller coasters. So let's start off with our least worst on this list, number 10, which is going to be Wild Mouse coasters. Now, the thing is with Wild Mouse coasters is that the pros are for this ride is that I love the drops. The drops are pretty fun. Like, I like Gotham City Gauntlet's drop. I mean, it has a tunnel to it, but I love drops in this ride due to it can give some good airtime. Kind of feels also relaxing too, so at sometimes. So yeah, but one thing that's pretty bad about these rides is that you have this bar right between you and your passenger, and your legs are like slamming through. See, some Wild Mouses have these turns to it on their ride experience, and yeah, during those turns, your legs are gonna like slam into the bar. I just don't like that part on the ride. So pretty bad restraints there. I love Dorney Park's Wild Mouse to the turns because it has padding on the bar. So yeah. Number 9, I think, might be a surprise to a lot of people. This is Untamed at Canopy Lake Park in Salem, New Hampshire. Now, one thing about this ride that I think is going to surprise a lot of people is that, first of all, this ride is pretty rough, and it can make your ears so red, make your ears swirl. I mean, this ride is just really rough. I love its vertical drop and its vertical loop. I mean, those parts of the ride are not bad at all. But one thing that's just pretty bad about this ride is that it has so much helixes and bank turns to it, and that part of the ride is just so rough to it. Like, I can't understand it. This is a Gersel Eurofighter. It was built in 2011. Hydrus is like, I heard Hydrus is smooth and has lap bars, and I heard it, and this ride is just like really rough to it. Like, I think they should just get lap bars. I mean, it can also give some banging to the ears as well. So yeah. And next up, we got a very bad aero looper. A pretty bad aero looper, not a very bad, but a pretty bad aero looper. This is Vortex at Kings Island in Mason, Ohio. Now, one thing about this ride is that I love to watch this ride go around, but I would not want to ride this ride. I love its like nice appearance to the ride. Like, I love the grassy area to the ride. I also like I like the grassy area. I like the trees around it, surrounding it. But I would not ride it because guess what? It's an aero coaster, and these rides are pretty rough, and it can deliver some bumpiness to it. But I love to like watch it. I mean, look at those corkscrew rides. They're really those corkscrew elements. They're really good. But I would just not want to ride this ride, just because it's just not that great. So yeah. And next up, we got a coaster at my home park, number 7, Riddler's Revenge at Six Flags New England. Now, just to let you know, this would be like 3rd or 4th place if this wasn't if the new restraints or the new trains didn't help this ride, because the new trains back in 2017 really helped this ride. It made it 10 times like smoother of the ride. And yes, this ride still delivers bumpiness, but the trains made it 10 times smoother. They were supposed to have the trains for like virtual reality, and in summer 2017 they retired the virtual reality experience. And then 2018 they changed their color scheme and theme to Riddler's Revenge due to Harley Quinn coming to the area. So yeah. Next up, number 6 is the only wooded roller coaster on this list, and it's Wildcat at Hershey Park. Now, just want to let you know about this ride is that this ride is a GCI. And I've ridden this is the worst wooded roller coaster I've ridden. And this is a GCI and Lightning Racer, and I love 2 other GCIs that I've ridden. Lightning Racer, which is at the same park as Wildcat, and I loved Mystic Timbers out in Ohio. So I loved both of them. And Wildcat is just so hard to ride. This ride is so bumpy. Like, it's so hard to enjoy the ride, and it's so hard to ride the ride. I think this coaster should get an RMC treatment. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be coming anytime soon because they're getting a new coaster in 2020, which is a B&M Hyper. I really wish this ride gets some sort of good treatment. It'll make their coaster collection even better. Now we have come to the halfway mark. Number 5 is Corkscrew at Cedar Point, and this ride is pretty bad. When I rode it, I just didn't like it at all. And it gave me a little bit of a minor headache. And this ride was just pretty rough. It was pretty uncomfortable seating to it. I was not a fan of the seating at all. It was just a pretty uncomfortable experience. But I love walking through it. Walking through the corkscrews are pretty good. But this was just an uncomfortable coaster to ride. So now we have come to our top 4. We're starting to get into the crappy rides here. Number 4 is, yes, another roller coaster at my home park, Goliath at Six Flags New England. Now, one thing about this ride is that I love the drops on this ride. The drops are just really fun. And one thing that just really kills the experience is the inversions. If the inversions were pretty smooth, I would definitely love this ride. Instead, the inversions are rough. Drops are good. The inversions just really kill it. It's just so rough to it. I'm glad it has some ear protection right near the ear of the restraint. But this ride just got new restraints back in 2014. And this ride is just pretty rough. Really rough ride. Like I said, love the drops of this ride. The drops are, like, really fun, but it's just rough. So now we have come to our top 3, and these 3 are just pretty crap. Number 3 is Green Lantern at Six Flags Great Adventure. Now, one thing about this ride is that, first of all, it's my first B&M, my first stand-up coaster, and the only stand-up coaster that I've ridden. And this ride, I gotta say, is just terribly bad. This is by far the worst B&M roller coaster I've ever ridden. This ride is just super bad. It's so hard to stand up on this ride, and just to let you know, it's just pretty bad. So it's really rough. So now we have come to our top 2. And just to let you know, these top 2 are pretty bad. Number 2 is Canopy Corkscrew at Canopy Lake Park. Now, one thing about this ride is that, this ride is just so rough. I think this ride should have been, taken out, ages ago. Instead, why is it still here? Yes, I do respect its history. I know it, transferred from, a Chicago park. But this ride, I don't know what I could say about this ride, if it should be removed or not due to its history. I mean, it has good history, but this ride is just insanely rough. Not a good ride at all. Just a terribly ride. I do like Yankee Cannibal at the park, and that's a vintage Woody, but this ride is just outdated roughness. Really bad ride. So, yeah. So, what's coming with our number 1 spot? My number 1 worst roller coaster that I've ridden is Flashback at Six Flags New England. Now, this ride right here is just terribly bad. Not a good ride at all. Very, very rough. Everything about this ride is rough. Backwards makes it really worse, especially the Cobra rolls. I mean, this ride is just super rough. So that's it with my top 10 worst roller coasters that I've ridden. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this top 10 list. I'm sorry for people if their favorite roller coaster is on this top 10 list. Make sure, maybe if you like, in the comment section, make your own top 10 worst roller coaster list that you've ridden. Like I said, I apologize for any types of roller coasters that you like that is on this list. This is my personal opinion, my top 10 worst roller coasters that I have ridden. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, and stay tuned for more Coaster Box videos. They'll be coming out shortly, and I'll catch you guys later.